Each month, restaurant hospitality will put the spotlight on rising stars, up and coming independent restaurant leaders that represent a next generation. We'll speak with these operators and chefs about the future of independent restaurants, menu and culinary innovations, operational adaptations, lessons learned, and more. And is sponsored by Smithfield Culinary. In this month's edition of Rising Stars, we speak with Mike Collantes, founder of the new Taglish Collective, a restaurant group based in Orlando, Florida, that now includes 3 restaurant concepts: fast casual, Filipino-American Taglish, the fine dining 10-seat Soseki, and the pizza concept, Perla Pizza.
Okay, today I have Mike Collantes from Orlando, Florida, who is the co-owner of Taglish Collective, a new group
Yeah,
that's just launched, I think this year, right? Officially?
absolutely. Yeah, officially this year.
Okay, so Mike, tell me a little bit about your background and who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. I started here in Orlando, Florida, originally from Jersey. Went to culinary school right out of high school here in Orlando. Started 4 years at Wolfgang Puck with the Levy Group. Grew with that company at an early age. I don't know why they decided to give a head sushi position to a 21-year-old. That was probably a bad choice. In retrospect, but just very passionate about creating. And, if I didn't know the answer, I was going to find it. And so I traveled that company for about 4 years, opened a couple restaurants, tennis US Open. Wanted to get into a bigger pond, as most people do. Went to Las Vegas, went for Joel Robuchon. Spent over 2 years with the Robuchon team there at the MGM, and from their 1-star to 3 Michelin star restaurant. Uh, and traveled around the country, staging at some amazing restaurants, and ended up working for Jennifer Carroll, who's my mentor. We were underneath Eric Repair of Le Bernardin, and she was on Top Chef for many seasons, and got to just hang my hat under an amazing chef who really let me do what I wanted to do creatively, and super supportive. From there, went over to be I was training as the executive chef for Masa Takayama's restaurant back in Vegas at the Aria Casino. His Bar Masa restaurant, the beautiful restaurant there, doing sushi and teppanyaki and all these things, a little bit higher end. Went to work in Hawaii for a small restaurant, starting up restaurant group there. Unfortunately, it just didn't pan out the way I thought it was. But hey, I'm in paradise. I might as well stay for a bit. And when my wife and I decided to have kids, we came back to Orlando, and here we are.
And during the COVID, the shutdown, you
Yes.
decided to start something new. So that's when you launched
Yeah, absolutely. I came back to Orlando. I was the corporate chef for a restaurant group here doing fast casual. Doing fine dining and fast casual was a big learning curve. I wasn't the smartest or the guy who knew everything in the room. I had to work with a big team. And I think that was one of a very pivotal point as a business owner, and even as a chef, very humbling experience for me. And right before COVID, November 2019, we opened a small restaurant in a Korean supermarket at the edge of town, doing Filipino food. I said we could open the 100th sushi bar in town, or we could do Filipino food, and let's see what happens. We did a pop-up that September, sold out in 30 minutes, 400 people showed up. I
Wow.
expected 100.
Wow.
And we said, okay, we have something, and let's pursue it.
And so the name Taglish refers, this is really Filipino-American food, right? So you've been very specific about saying
Very
that, right?
specific about that. Very specific to say it's not fusion food. I am from, when they say, where in the Philippines are you from? I'm saying New Jersey. My wife is Filipino. And this is second generation perspective of Filipino cuisine, using all of the rich history of being here in the States, as well as what it means to be a Filipino American, growing up with burgers and burritos, but not straying too far away from the core of what Filipino food is.
And being in the grocery store, did that help you during the pandemic in that you could stay open? It was...
We could stay open all the way through. We got hit hard fast before. I think it hit everyone end of February, March for most of the country. Being in the supermarket, there was a little bit of fear mongering in there. So we got hit early. We had to adapt early. That also meant that during this time, opening in November 2019. We only had 2 months open, so it was all hands on deck. It was really us figuring out who we were as a restaurant, but also during COVID. So it was the best and worst of both situations, of course.
But now it sounds like you've got a brick and mortar. So you've got a place outside the grocery store that you're going to be growing Taglish.
Absolutely.
Tell me
From
about that.
just a year and a half from then, we've opened up 2 more operations with a media company as well. And we're opening our brick and mortar within the next month and a half. Finally, just a Taglish situation there. Yeah.
So this is what you mean by the collective. So we're going to be talking about 3 brands here. Taglish, which is fast casual, would you say?
I'd say, yeah, fast casual
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know how many supermarket fast food court restaurants are doing sous vide and molecular, but we are.
Fantastic. So we've got Taglish, and you're going to tell us more about that. And then we've got the very high end Soseki, which is a very small
Absolutely.
tasting
10
omasaki menu.
10 seats, Japanese inspired. We have elements of sushi in there. We never say it's a sushi bar again. Just playing into, we couldn't travel during this time, and it really made me think, well, I want to go eat at some high-end restaurants. I want to be taken care of. It's how I like to dine. Let's create that opportunity. So we found a little small salon that we took over, and from October of last year, 2020, to now, we're about 6 weeks in, and booked almost all the way through.
So you've really seen pent up demand for this kind of dining. It's people really want to get back to this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think when you're just cooped up in your house, and hopefully, I think Orlando hasn't seen something like this before. It's polished without pretentiousness. It's connection. And during COVID, I felt like communities got smaller. And so this idea of connecting with 10 people every single night, 20 people every single night with a chef in this format of a sushi bar where we are cooking food but this show kitchen, there is very little barrier between us in the sense that you get to see everything going on.
And then, in addition to that, you also have Perla Pizza, which it sounds like is more of a partnership. Can you explain how that came about?
Yeah, absolutely. I had an extra free month to just sit on my butt and do nothing. So I said, let's open a pizza.
Of course. What else would you do?
And I have a 4-month-old. So it's just like, yeah, let's throw pizza in the mix. I always tell people I started off in Fashion Square Mall in Sbarro's, the best pizza place in the world. Everyone knows Sbarro. But that was me at 16 and working for Wolfgang, who's known for pizzas. It was my foot in the door to get there and then get into sushi. So it's a little homage to that. We partnered with Thirsty Toe for a local bar here. They built a space next door. And they said, just on Facebook, and my mother sent me the link, said, we're looking for someone to partner with us. We built a kitchen. Well, when I went in to look at the kitchen, it's a 10 by 12 shoe closet with a sink in it. I was like, this ain't a kitchen, guys.
Yeah.
But 80 people answered that ad. And I do barbecue, and I do pizza, I do taco, I do this, we could put this here. When I answered that ad, I said, hey, I don't know what I'm going to do here. I need to see what the community needs, as well as what does a space need. And I brought 5 of my core team there, and we just, we moved this around, and if we do this, no, that won't work. And we just cooked it I always say we cook it in our heads before we cook it on the plate. And we said, this beer, pizzas, with this type of operation, it works. This type of oven, and if we're using electric ovens, then we don't go Neapolitan because we can't get that beautiful leoparding. So it was very intentional, not to just kind of fit something that might work. It's about putting a concept that will work, and we're seeing great. It's just working out real well. They closed for 6 months during the pandemic, and bars got hit the hardest. So for us to partner with them and to see them see their bar full again, it was pretty amazing.
And there are bananas on the pizza.
There's bananas on the pizza. I don't know if y'all know this this cartoon in the 90s called Doug, and they did a banana pizza thing that was one of the episodes. And I've been putting bananas on my pizza since as long as I can remember. I just thought it was just so funny, and it's so good. Well, Orlando's already known for really bad food, supposedly. It's not. But Orlando's not known to be the capital of epicenter. So how funny if we get to be known for this particular pizza. So we menu tested it. I had my whole team. I said, if I'm crazy, I won't put it on, but I like this combination, and it's our #1 seller.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not a novelty. It really works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. Okay. Well, so what's next? I mean, you've had 5 minutes to think about it. There's probably 3 other ideas you're working on.
Yeah, my team's telling me I just need to slow down a bit. But I'm just so excited to bring new content to the market. I'm so excited to come up with these new partnerships and find out these little gaps and holes where we can. We have 86 Media, which we just launched during COVID. What really helped us, and I encourage all owners that we took to social media. Communities got tighter, communities got smaller. Everyone wants local support. Well, they don't know who to support unless it's out there. So what really happened was we pivoted toward TikTok and Instagram. Within 6 months, we had over 25,000 followers on TikTok. We had a lot of free time on our hands. No one was coming in store. You could shrink away, scale back, or you could push forward. We pushed forward. We did videos. We told people how we did, recipes, and we got really high engagement with our guests beyond coming to the store, and that ultimately led us to building brand awareness and engagement now, and building a whole new media company through that.
And are you serving other restaurants with that media company, or is it really about
We are.
your own?
We are doing not just. I'm a hustler kind of guy. On my days off, which I don't have much of, I started for 6 years. I was doing construction aerial drone videos. Like
Wow.
I literally, on my days off, I'll go to different construction sites and fly drones on my day off, and I'll edit it. And so we service everybody, anyone who needs a platform. Basically, it's not just restaurants. But we were very intentional with who we work for and who we work with, that they could see value in this rather than, I just need some cool pictures. Well, there's other places you could get cool pictures. Are you trying to, we want very like-minded clients.
And so now as you build this group, tell me how you're building it, because it sounds like you've got some ideas about how to structure this company, how you treat your workers, that sort of thing, compensation. What are you doing differently?
Absolutely. I think we spent time, like every restaurant group or any company, talking about P&Ls and how are we structuring those logistics. But the biggest thing that we talk about is culture building. How do we, that it doesn't stop with, I've heard this so many times, well, once the new generation came in, or as soon as the opening team left, the culture changed. Well, then that's your fault, because you weren't cultivating and you weren't passing the torch on. It didn't translate. And so we're really big on making sure that we don't need placeholders. We just work harder. And it does take a toll. I'm in store about 6 days a week now, behind the bar. I love it, but it does take a toll to the team, to the growth. But being sure that we don't grow too fast is one thing, even though, we're at 4 stores now. And taking care, I want to leave hospitality. I love this business. I want to leave it better than how I found it. So back of house gets full payout on tips, as well as front of house. The lines are blurred. You don't know if you're going to work cashier, or if you're going to be prepping that day, or if you're going to be on the line, or something of that. So when you don't know, you can't really mess, well, I'm just going to leave this a mess. Everyone just has to come together, because everyone's in the pool to win together, to make financial gains together. We have to be creative with how we're going to build culture for people to stay, and give opportunity for them to stay as well.
So how are you doing that? I mean, is it a matter about competing with wages, or are you offering benefits or flexibility?
Beyond the tip wages as well, we are working toward, and it hasn't started yet. This is constant conversations, but having a mental health specialist on staff, or access to that, so that people can, but we do a lot of mental checks with our team. I know this industry backwards and forwards. I've been doing it 20 years. I've burnt out and recovered from sobriety and now sober. So it really plays a toll to me to know that that my guys and my team and my coworkers are really mentally and emotionally okay with what we're doing.
Yeah, I would imagine, especially now during the pandemic.
Absolutely.
So what are your growth plans? To give me the 5 years from now, where do you expect to be with this collective?
Can I put my face on some soup and then call it a day?
Sure. If it works for you.
Yeah, no. I never know. There's so many opportunities. We were just in Miami in the Wynwood area speaking with some other chefs that would like us to partner up. I'd like to continue to build the Orlando hospitality industry here. I think there's just so much promise here in Orlando with local farms that we use and local purveyors. Um, Growth for me I, is finding good balance. Right now, we're pushing strong, but yes, it is a big challenge with labor. We cannot deny that when there's so many amazing people looking for people. I have so many friends who can't open for lunch or can't reopen their second restaurant because of this. So I do see a little diversity in what we're doing, not just the typical restaurant, pivoting to fast casual, pivoting toward um, other streams of revenue like 86 Media, or we're working on plateware right now through the company to start. I need very unique sets of plateware for Soseki, the fine dining. Well, why don't we figure out a way where we could mass produce this and also figure out a whole new side of the operation that we can move people towards. So I think it is also just a diversification of skill set.
Make sure to check out our next Rising Star, debuting on the third Wednesday of every month. And if you know someone who is a rising star, let us know at lisa.jennings, JENNINGS, @informa.com.